We would like to welcome you here tonight to City of North Las Vegas Council meeting. There are two public forums set aside for public comments, one at the beginning of the meeting and one at the end. If you wish to speak, please complete one of the blue cards which are located on the table outside the main entrance and at the podium rail down here. Please give the card to the city clerk. When I call upon you to speak, I request that you limit your comments to no more than 3 minutes, and please try to avoid repetition. Madam City Clerk, are we in compliance with the Nevada Open Meeting Law?
Yes, we are.
Tonight we have the opportunity to have the invocation given by Pastor Jeff Chavez from North Point Community Church. Following that, we will have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mr. Jason Fackrell. Please rise.
Members of the council, ladies and gentlemen, let's pray. Father, we come before you in this season of thanks, thanking you so much for the blessings you give, thanking you for our city, thanking you for the opportunity to gather as we do, thanking you for our first responders who work so hard for us. Keep them safe tonight. We thank you for our military. We saw them in the skies this weekend. Thank you for their skill and all that they do. We remember those that are maybe less fortunate tonight. We think of the homeless on the streets and those that care for them. We think about all the opportunities that we have to serve and to give, and we're remembering those in less need, or in more need today. We're going to thank you for all that you're going to show us today, and I'm praying for wisdom for this council meeting today. Just allow us to have peace in our unity, in our community. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Jeff, and thank you, Jason, for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Mayor Pro Tempore, one comment.
Yes,
Our
ma'am.
voting system doesn't appear to be working tonight, so we'll be doing voiced votes unless IT can get it up and running.
Okay. Let me just mention before we begin the agenda items that Councilman Black has to leave a little bit earlier, maybe about 6:45. So I just wanted to make that note. Okay, public forum. This is the time set aside for the first public forum on any posted agenda items. Madam City Clerk, do we have any blue cards?
Mayor Pro Tempore, we would do our council items first, and then we would do public forum.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Councilman Barron.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. A little bit earlier today, there was a presentation at Rancho High School by Uruguayan pop band Umami. Their big thing is, of course, they besides being, they're going to be playing at the Latin Grammys tomorrow, so it's a big deal to have them. And we're so lucky to have them up here at Rancho High School to promote, quite frankly, peace in our community. My club, the Rancho High School Hispanic Student Union, we are promoting a week of peace in light of so much violence and so many things that are going on that are negative. So we're promoting a week of peace, and Umami came by to promote the idea of an anti-bullying theme. So I want to thank them, especially Mr. Nico and his sister Deborah Fernandez. Also, this Saturday, everyone's invited. There will be a Dreamers Forum right here in the City Council chamber this Saturday, November 18th, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Of course, we know that the president has decided to allow Congress 6 months to find out what we're going to do with DACA, the deferred action. And of course, that's something that's very a theme that's very relevant to many of North Las Vegas residents. But the entire community is invited to come out, and we already have two congressmen who have decided to confirm their attendance. Our very own Congressman Ruben Kiwan and Congressman Mark Amodei. And they'll be here on hand to discuss and definitely to talk with you. Also, if anyone came in, you noticed outside that there was lots of really cool artwork. So we have a little minor show going on. We have an art reception this evening, and the featured artists are Mr. Jorge Betancourt, and much of his art has been featured in many children's books, and Miss Andy Goodman, who she's I might be loaded here, a noted local sculptor person, sculptor, I don't know the word for it. Anyhow, also Ms. Brisa Arana, who is a member of the local consulate, the Mexican consulate. She also has some of her artwork as well. So may art never die, and may it live in North Las Vegas forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Barone. Councilwoman Goins-Brown?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I'd just like to mention a couple things that have happened and one will happen tomorrow. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of going to Cheyenne High School to speak to over 200 students who recently took the advanced placement exams and were successful in passing that. And so I'm just proud to say that one of our North Las Vegas schools has increased their AP participation by 50% just in the past year. So that was really, really eye-opening, and so proud that Cheyenne High School is in the city of North Las Vegas. And just spoke with the kids about the importance of being college and career ready. So it was a pretty amazing, phenomenal program that we had on yesterday. Councilman Barone, Mayor Pro Tem, and myself attended the Veterans Village opening on Saturday, and I'm going to let you go ahead and talk about that, Mayor Pro Tem, in just a few minutes. I know that's his passion, is working with the veteran community, so I'll let him expand on that. Tomorrow morning is something that's really phenomenal, and it's called the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast, and it is about elected officials from all over the state who come in, and you choose a prayer that you want to share with over 400 local high school students. And I'm going to read a Jewish prayer tomorrow. We get 3 choices to pick from, and I just look at the words, and that one just kind of moved me. So I'm going to be reading that prayer tomorrow morning, and it will be at the Texas Station Casino, which also happens to be in North Las Vegas. The mayor of Henderson, Mayor Deborah March, as part of her 100-day plan, she's put together a women's community leadership program. Sorry, guys. And what it is just business women, elected officials who happen to be females, are putting together a leadership network where we will meet twice a year. And it's just about building capacity for leadership in women and girls. So I'm just looking forward to what's going to happen in the future, and I'll just be sharing what we discuss at our meetings when we meet. And lastly, I'm just mentioning this because this was so moving to me. I was fortunate enough to attend the groundbreaking ceremony for the Raiders. And when I got home, they had 58 lights beaming toward the sky that represented the 58 victims from the 1 October shooting here on the Strip. And what was so moving about it, all the way from over here looking out to the Strip, you could still see those lights shining to the sky. And it was just really powerful and very moving for me. So that's it.
And there's no reason to apologize to me, Councilwoman. I'm a girl dad, so that's great. Councilman Black.
I'd like to report on a few events that I had the good fortune of participating in. Last Friday, there is a great organization in our community called FIT, Foundation for an Independent Tomorrow. I gave a presentation to about 24 men and women who had spent various amount of times incarcerated, and now they're ready to change their lives and become part of the workforce again. And it was really humbling and an honor for me to talk to these folks and share my story, and also listen to their story, as well as the triumphs that they're working on as far as reentry into the job force. And I think they can be an asset to our community. Also, this past Monday, I had the privilege of speaking during a lunch meeting at the Nevada Bicycle Pedestrian Summit. It was well attended. We have some great things going on in our community in terms of improving the infrastructure for cyclists, for pedestrians, and really encouraging outdoor activities and opportunities within our valley. We are fortunate to have great weather year-round, and so it was a privilege to participate in that. Yesterday, myself and Chief Calhoun and Portland Preston participated in the first annual Wii Bowling Invitational at the with the senior group at the Silver Mesa Rec Center. And I'm proud to say that I am the absolute worst Wii bowler in all of Ward 3, and I have a participation certificate to prove it. That's all I was eligible for, was participation. And then lastly, this coming Saturday, the 18th, there's an opportunity for our community, and would like to invite individuals to join us at the Silver Mesa Rec Center for a Feast of Gratitude. Come out with you and your families. It's from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Silver Mesa Rec Center. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Councilman Black. Let me first welcome, even though I'm a girl dad, let me welcome all of our scouts out here. Give a wave so we know you're out there. That's it. Good to have you here all the time. We appreciate you coming down to participate and see what it's like to be involved in public service. A couple of things, and I'll keep it brief. The Veterans Village 3 opening on November 11th that Councilwoman Goyes Brown mentioned. That was an amazing event on all different levels. One thing that fascinated me was the ability for Arnie Stark, who is, lack of a better word, Mr. Veterans Village. This is the third one that he was able to get put together with community support and involvement by so many businesses and labor unions and volunteers and people, to the point that it was constructed in 7.5 days. I'm not too sure if I could do anything in 7.5 days, let alone build a building. But we're hoping the services that he's going to provide over there, which would be outreach, training, food. They have a food pantry there from. I lost the. 3 Square, yes, 3 Square. We're hoping that somewhere along the line, and Councilman Barone had mentioned that we would love to have Veterans Village 4 in some way be part of North Las Vegas over here. So he's very involved in doing things with the veterans and the military and the homeless, as we are here in North Las Vegas. Secondly, Christmas Express. Christmas Express is something that Western Elite and the Williams family puts on every year in Lincoln County. It's not too far. If you take 15 and get off where the Apex exit is, and just take that road maybe for about 40 minutes or 35 miles, whatever it is, you'll see an entrance over there that will really transport you into a different time. They do an amazing job over there of creating a Christmas scene for people and family that you could participate in. It's all free. We have some literature, I believe, on our Facebook. I know we'll be putting it out over here. But for the first night, it begins December 1st. Because Scott C. Strand and the Williams family are so supportive of our military and veterans, December 1st is military night. And he invites all of the military veterans to come out there and participate and bring their family and go on the train ride and just take that ride around, and you'll truly believe that you're someplace in the North Pole. Honest, I've been there several times. And I'm going back. As a matter of fact, I'll be there on December 1st, helping to hand out pins to all of our military and their family. Also, he wasn't able to get it on the ads that he put out, but December 2nd, 8th, and 9th is going to be First Responder Night. Once again, all of our first responders are welcome to attend free of charge, and their families, and enjoy the same amenities and that feeling of Christmas out there. So you would just need to RSVP to him. I don't know how we can get the information. Dylan, it is on our Facebook someplace. Yep. Okay. It's on our Facebook. And if you have any questions about it, you could see any of the council people, myself, right after the meeting. We'll give you that information as well. So, that's it for the council items. I apologize for skipping over the council items. But now we'll go into the public forum. And I'll read it again, Madam Clerk. This time is set aside for the first public forum on any posted agenda items. Do we have any blue cards?
I don't have any additional ones, so that you have the ones that we have received.
Is that okay? We only have one for the second one. Okay. Okay, moving on to the agenda.
Item 1, approve City Council regular meeting agenda of November 15, 2017 for possible action.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, we have two changes to the agenda. The applicant for item 3 and 4 has requested these items be continued until the December 20th meeting. Staff's recommendation is to approve the agenda as amended.
Thank you. I'd like to call for a motion from my colleagues here to approve the agenda as amended.
Move to approve as amended.
Okay, thank you. Madam City Clerk, moving on to number 2, please.
Okay. Item 2, set date on any appeals filed or required public hearings from the City Planning Commission meetings.
Okay. Madam City Clerk, I direct you to set the dates as necessary.
So noted.
Okay, let's move on to the public hearings.
Just a refresher, it was just a second ago, but items 3 and 4 were continued to December 20th. Moving on to item 5, approve UN 5017 CP Squires Elementary School for applicant Clark County School District, property owner School Board of Trustees for a special use permit in an R1 single-family low-density district, proposed rezoning to PSP, public semi-public district, to allow an addition to an existing elementary school on property located at 1312 East Tonopah Avenue.
Thank you. Welcome.
Mayor Pro Tem, City Council members, good evening. My name is Dimitrios Karapanagiotis. I'm here representing the Clark County School District. Before you is a special use permit for an addition to the CP Squires Elementary School. The addition is going to be an 18 classroom. Together with me is Frank Gonzalez. He's the architect, and he's going to give you a small presentation.
Thank you.
Good evening. The project is very simple. What we're trying to do is to add a new 18-room classroom addition to the site. We're also adding some parking on the southwest corner of the building. There's a condition of approval number 2, which is that we need to have trees between our new building and the neighbors from the residential neighbors behind. So we have complied to that. I don't know if you can see that on the screen right up there. One thing to note though is that originally on the application, this building was over here originally, with the playground that is shown between this building and this one was out here. And we had some neighborhood meetings that they asked us to put the playground closer to the existing playground, so we moved the building a little bit to the east, and then we put the playground close to where the existing playground is. And that's basically the extent of the addition.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any public comment on this? Any cards? I don't believe so. Council, do we have any questions, comments, or a motion?
Well, Mayor Pro Tem, thank you very much. Thank you so much. And of course, I'm happy to say I'm not sure. I think Mr. Herman Martin might be here. He was actually at the meeting as well. I know I really enjoyed the new design of the building. I'm happy to say that, of course, district has been investing very nicely in Ward 1. I'm very happy that we had a rebuild of Lincoln Elementary, spectacular new design. It looks like a modern post-secondary education campus is what it looks like, right? And It's fantastic, and I think this new classroom will project this site to be relevant and more current for the next couple decades. Am I not right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I'm excited about being able to have new amenities and more infrastructure, educational infrastructure there in Ward 1. Unless anybody else has anything to say, I'd like to make a motion for approval.
Okay, we have a motion for approval.
Item 6, pass and adopt ordinance number 2846, amending section 010 of chapter 16 of title 17 of the municipal code by reclassifying approximately 8.05 acres therein from an R1 single-family low-density district to PSP public semi-public district, ZN 2917, CP Squires Elementary School, for property generally located at 1312 East Tonopah Avenue and providing for other matters properly relating thereto.
Okay, this is associate item to number 5, of course.
Sure. Mayor Pro Tem, council members, my name is Dimitrios Karapanagiotis, representing the Clark County School District. This is a cleanup item, pretty much. The property has been single-family residential, and we ask, that we go to a public, semi-public district in order to keep up, with the new demands, for the district.
Okay, thank you. We don't have any cards, but does anybody would like to speak on that item? If not, we'll close the public hearing. Council, questions, comments, or a motion to approve?
Everything I said before, motion to approve.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 7, public hearing to consider new fees as proposed in ordinance number 2820 to amend Chapter 13.24 of the North Las Vegas Municipal Code to make various changes relative to definitions, fees, and liens.
If we don't have any blue cards or any no one to speak on this item, so we'll close the public hearing. Council, your wishes, any questions? Motion to approve?
Move to approve.
There's no required
No.
a motion for this. It's
No,
just
not
to
on this one?
receive public hearing, so we have no
Yeah.
Okay.
public hearing.
Consent?
Matters listed on the consent agenda are considered routine and may be approved by a single motion. However, any consent item may be moved to the business portion of the agenda for discussion at the request of any council member.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, the consent agenda consists of items 8 through 10. Staff's recommendation is to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Okay. Thank you. Council, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as listed?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Councilman Black. Is this working properly?
Yeah.
Okay,
We're on 11.
okay,
So
okay. Thank you. Moving on to business.
Item 11, approve administrative services and HIPAA business associate agreements with Emeritus Life Insurance Corp. For dental and vision coverage for 329 non-representative and police department personnel for the remainder FY 17-18 in the approximate amount of $71,458.80.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. No blue cards on this. We'll call for the. We'll close the public hearing, and we'll call for a motion to approve the agreement. We have any questions from council? Motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Thank you.
Item 12, approve professional landscape architectural services agreement with Lage Lage Design, Inc., in an amount not to exceed $100,200, $85,200 from the Southern Nevada Public Lands Management Act funds, and $15,000 from the Tax Override Fund to provide design services for Kyle Ranch Historic Park, Phase 3B, and Kyle Ranch 7-Acre Master Plan, CIP Project Number 10395B and 10478.
Okay, thank you. No cards, no speakers. Council, any questions? If not, I'll request a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Thank you.
Item 13, accept petition for annexation number 159 submitted by Solo Investments 1 LLC to annex approximately 652.89 acres of land generally located west of the Las Vegas Boulevard and Nadine Peterson Boulevard intersection, APN 103-33-010-002.
Okay. Thank you. Once again, not seeing any speakers or having any blue cards. We'll close this, and I'll ask council for any comments, questions, or a motion to approve.
Mayor Pro Tem, I'm happy to see that the city of Las Vegas continues to physically grow, especially Ward 1. And with that, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Councilman Barone. If it's happening someplace, it's happening in one, right? This week. Thank you.
Councilman Brown, have you, there we go.
Did you vote?
Yep.
Okay.
Item 14, accept petition for annexation number 160 submitted by School Board of Trustees to annex approximately 4.98 acres of land generally located at the northwest corner of La Madre Way and Lawrence Street, APN numbers 12435703004 and 005.
Thank you. Once again, not seeing any speakers or having any cards, we'll close this, and I'll ask council for comments, suggestions, or a motion to approve.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Councilman Black. Thank you.
Item 15, pass and adopt resolution number 2593, amending section 3 of resolution number 2568, which was a resolution authorizing submission of an application to the United States Department of Commerce for funding through the Economic Development Administration's 2016 Public Work Investment Assistance Program for the Northeast Intercept Project to change the matching amount from $3 million to $4.5 million.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Okay. Once again, not seeing anybody by the podium or any blue cards. I'll ask council for any questions, suggestions, or motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Moving on to final ordinances.
Ordinances listed under final action were introduced at a previous council meeting for action at this meeting, but may include emergency ordinances. Item 16, pass and adopt ordinance number 2847, amending section 010 of chapter 16 of title 17 of the municipal code by amending an existing PUD, Planned Unit Development District, ordinance numbers 2195 and 2667, originally consisting of 105 single-family lots and now consisting of 88 single-family lots, ZN 3017, Ann and Bruce, for property located at the southeast corner of Ann Road and Bruce Street, and providing for other matters properly related thereto.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Not having any blue cards or seeing anyone by the podium, we'll close public comment. Council, what is your wishes? Questions? Motion to approve?
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Councilman Black?
Councilmember Brown, there it goes.
There you go.
Item 17, pass and adopt ordinance number 2848, amending Title 15 of the Municipal Code by relating to permits and fees by amending sections 15.72110D, 1572-140A, 1572-140E, 1570-104B, and adding a new section, 1572-140B, amending penalties and fees for non-permitted construction and providing for other matters properly related thereto.
Thank you. Once again, no blue cards, no one by the podium. We'll close public comment. Council, any questions, comments, or motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Thank you, Councilman Brown. Okay, moving on to ordinances, introduction only.
There is no public comment for these items, and no action will be taken by the council at this meeting. If you wish to speak on any of these items, please attend the meeting where the final action will be determined and submit a blue card to the clerk. Item 18, introduce ordinance number 2820, amending Chapter 13.24 of the Municipal Code to make various changes relative to definitions, fees, liens, and provide for other matters properly related thereto. Item 19, introduced ordinance number 2830, extending corporate limits of the city of North Las Vegas, annexing a parcel of land generally located west of the Las Vegas Boulevard and Nadine Peterson Boulevard intersection. Petitioner represent 100% of the area proposed for annexation and providing other matters thereto. Item 20, introduce ordinance number 2837, extending corporate limits of the city of North Las Vegas, annexing parcels of land generally located at the northwest corner of La Madre Way and Lawrence Street. Petitioner represents 100% of the area proposed for annexation and providing other matters thereto. Item 21, introduce ordinance number 2843, amending Chapter 13.04 of the Municipal Code to make various changes relative to senior citizen discounts, billing, payment, collection, and liens, and provide for other matters properly related thereto.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to appointments.
Item 22, appoint 2 citizen members to the Regional Transportation Commission of Southern Nevada Bus Shelter and Bench Advisory Committee for a 1-year term ending November 1, 2018.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. We do have 2 names that shared their wishes to be on the RTC Commission. In discussing it with my colleagues, we agreed that Mr. Michael Wadley, W-A-D-L-E-Y, and Mr. Rick Skipton would be appointed if that's agreeable with my colleagues here. And that would be my motion. Thank you.
Item 23, appoint an at-large citizen member to the Veterans Community Commission to fill an unexpired term ending June 30th, 2018.
Okay, once again, for our Veterans Community Commission, Mr. Mark Olson had contacted our chairwoman, Linda Montgomery, and expressed a desire to be on our Veterans Community Commission. So with her approval, I'd like to ask council to approve Mr. Mark Olson to become a member of our commission. Make a motion? Go ahead, council. Thank you. Okay, moving on to city manager's report.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, I don't have a report myself. Instead, we've, in lieu of that, have asked Mr. Jeff Albert, who's kind of become our resident historian, city historian, to provide the council and those in the chamber and those listening online a brief on the city of North Las Vegas history that he is entitled Bringing a New City Up to Speed.
Good evening, Jeff Alpert, 3828 Fusilier Drive, North Las Vegas. And if I could we get the projector overhead on? Last meeting I discussed, in the second public forum, a little bit of history. I discussed the first mayor of North Las Vegas, Horace Tucker. Tonight, what I wanted to do is just go through what the first year of city government was like for North Las Vegas after we became a city. So North Las Vegas got incorporated in May of 1946, and right away they scheduled a special election to elect the mayor and 3 city councilmen. There were 3 wards at the time, And what I'd like to do is just go through, thanks to our city clerk, we now have our portal up to speed where we can go back all the way to 1946 and look at minutes from our city council meetings and special meetings that were called. So right after the election was held, we had a new mayor, Horace Tucker, 3 new council, brand new first-time council people, Charles Alpin, Thomas Jones, and Jerome Coleman. And if we can enlarge this, I'm going to try to go through some of these pink items that I highlighted here and just point out what occurred. So the very first meeting was July 15th, 1946, and the first order of business was the appointment of a temporary clerk to record the minutes of the meeting. And then they appointed T.C. Letchworth as the city clerk for our city. And right away, the first order of business, regular order of business, they wanted to execute a bond to generate $5,000 to start paying for city expenses. And coming next was the appointment of a city treasurer. They wanted to have a treasurer for our new city. And then down here at the bottom, I'll read it, resolved that the mayor take such steps as may be necessary in order to secure the transfer of all funds held by the Board of County Commissioners of the County of Clark, State of Nevada, acting for and on behalf of the unincorporated town of North Las Vegas, over to the city treasurer of the city of North Las Vegas. So to get some real money, now that we were breaking off from the county for its support, they were asking for the transfer of money that was being held in our name. And Carl Shepard was appointed the city marshal and ex officio chief of police of the city of North Las Vegas at a salary of $50 per month. So our first police officer. The next meeting was held on September 9th, and ordinance number 2 was adopted for North Las Vegas, and that was an important one. They wanted to start licensing businesses. By getting people to file for permits to run a business, they were able to generate some income that way. And right after bill number 3 was the distribution and control of intoxicating and alcohol, liquors, and beverages. So right away, they wanted to have a say in who was going to sell liquor and how they could tax that. Council Bill 4 was to prohibit gaming and operation of slot machines in the city of North Las Vegas without first obtaining a license. So as you look at many future council meetings, they keep running into approving licenses like 4 slot machines, 2 slot, and just about anybody that was anybody running anything wanted a slot machine in their store. Whether it was a bakery or a hair salon, they wanted slot machines. And then comes the first problem confronting our new city council. It was brought to the attention of the council that the method of disposal of the wash water at the self-service laundry was constituting a health menace. So the first dilemma. Next and third council meeting was on November 4th of 1946. And we have introduction in this council. The next items they were taken up is people wanted a taxi cab service company. Also taken up was the idea of people submitting bids to run a bus service in North Las Vegas. And later on that meeting, they were discussing the idea that they realized they need a city judge. A judge needed to be appointed. And then you can see at the bottom, a lot of people were starting to request licenses. Grocery stores for a slot machine, cafes, bars, they all wanted a liquor license, a slot license. Moving on to the December meeting, there was next a natural discussion of garbage and rubbish. How is the city going to handle all the trash from the residents in their homes? So they had an ordinance to start discussing that. And ordinance number 5 was called an ordinance to regulate travel and traffic upon the streets. So now they're concerned about regulating the trucks and the size of the trucks on the streets, paving, and also where, I guess, buses could travel, cabs could travel. And at this meeting, it was moved that the city council advertise for bids on a patrol car and purchase radio equipment for said patrol car. So the beginning of our police department, we have a chief of police, now we need to start buying him a car. It was moved that the city council engage in a certified public accountant to prepare a budget for the city. And after a general discussion by the city council, they ordered a bond in the form of a cashier's check be deposited with the building inspector. So this was to now have people, when they wanted to build a home, to pay a fee to get a permit. So the beginning of that in our city. And then at that time, we had a volunteer, North Las Vegas Volunteer Fire Department, and they were asked to pass a motion to allow the fire department to charge $10 per call. If they went out, people would have to pay $10 for having the fire department come to their home. At the 5th meeting in January of the new year, 1947, there was this discussion of the condition of the water wells. And I know Randy Duval talked to me a couple of months ago. He's saying, let me know whatever you can find about the history of water, because I can't find anything in this city. And now that we have the portal, he can do this research himself. And it said he's not here, because I was going to tell him that. But this is interesting. There was a discussion of the water wells, and Mr. Haregrove suggested several means of trying to improve the flow of the wells to provide a greater supply of water. It was moved that the city council jail be, the Clark County jail be used by our city. So this was the first recognition that we needed a jail, and they went, just like we're doing now, they went to Clark County and said, we want to use your jail. Moving on to February of 1947, the 6th council meeting, just one thing of interest. There was an ordinance defining garbage, rubbish, dirt, and dead animals. So they wanted to deal with how they were going to handle a lot of animals roaming around in 1947 in North Las Vegas that were on the loose. In March of 47, quickly, the city clerk was authorized to hire Mr. Kufer to secure the names and addresses of all residents of our city for 10 cents a name. So they actually wanted to do like a census. Who's in our city? They were going to pay this guy to go around and write down names for 10 cents each. And the city clerk was authorized to draw up and have signed regular payroll. So they realized at this point they have to have an organized system for payroll. And then this thing here, there was then read to the council a letter sent to the North Las Vegas Volunteer Fire Department by the Director of Vocational Training asking the fire department to participate in a week's training program under their supervision. Councilman Jones informed the council that the members of the fire department felt this training would be of great value and had decided to take the training. This action met with the approval of the council upon motion made by Councilman Applin and seconded by Councilman Jones and carried. It was moved that the fee of $22 charged by the Department of Vocational Education for the week's training be paid by the city of North Las Vegas. So this was a big move away from the volunteer fire department. And then they passed Ordinance 12. They wanted to have an ordinance about housing, room and board, places that were set up like hotels. We're almost at the end of the first year, and we're moving to April of 1947. There appeared before the council a Mr. Herbal and a Mr. Waitman of Vegas Heights wanting to know how the residents of Vegas Heights could show their appreciation to the North Las Vegas Volunteer Fire Department. They were informed that any donations made by Vegas Heights for any equipment for the fire department would be greatly appreciated. End of the meeting. It was moved a prefabricated garage be purchased for use as a pump house and tool shed at the North Well. That was for Randy. Then they had their first special meeting. We have regular council meetings. They held a special meeting April 18th, 1947. It was moved that Mr. Letchworth be authorized to purchase a prefabricated garage, 12 by 20 feet, and other materials necessary for the construction of pens and a corral, the same to be used for the impounding of animals. It was moved that two two-drawer filing cabinets with locks be purchased, probably by the city clerk. And then, upon recommendation by Mayor Tucker, Councilman Applin, they moved that the 5 Points garage bill, the city of North Las Vegas, for the balance of the repair bill on Chief of Police Shepard's car, said car having been used by the city of North Las Vegas as a police car to approximately 12 to 14 hours daily for 2 months, prior to the purchase of the city's police car. The motion was seconded by the council and it was approved. So the police chief was using his own car. Our first police car was the chief's own personal vehicle, and the city approved that if he needed repairs, they would cover it. And then there was a motion that moved that the chief of police, the fire chief, and Mr. Nickel, the garbage collector, call on the residents violating ordinance number 7 and ask them to cooperate. A second violation would call for a written notice, and if they persisted in violating the ordinance after said written notice, a warrant of arrest would be issued. So the beginning of code enforcement. And nearing the end, now we're at May of 1947, just 1 year now, anniversary of our city being formed. It was approved that the council employed a certified public accountant to audit the books. And then here, fire department would appreciate this. Here's a list of the first thing that came before city council to help our fire department. Items that the department wanted purchased and the expenses, about $1,000 worth of equipment for our fire department. In final meeting, June 2nd, which ends the first year just about of meetings, June 2nd, 1947, what happened was the mayor was only elected for 1 year, a 1-year term. He wasn't recalled. I found that out. And they had an election. He came in second, so he was out of office. And I guess it's like when Trump came into office, all of Obama's people had to start resigning and everything. So right away at this meeting, the city clerk resigns, the police chief resigns, the deputy police chief resigns, everybody resigns, the treasurer resigns, and here they are appointing new people to take over their jobs. And finally, they had a lengthy discussion on the water situation in the city of North Las Vegas and a considerable discussion on the subject of circulating water pumps on coolers. They discussed the feasibility of drilling for water in the eastern section of the city. It was questioned. It was pointed out by the water master that the wells in that area were not good pumping wells and that ground strata was not favorable. And then they went on to discuss buying a grader to start grading the streets so more streets could be paved. And then finally, they talk about setting up a meeting with the Chamber of Commerce to propose setting up a water district for our city. So I just wanted to give city staff especially an overview of what happened in year 1. A new city was formed. It required a lot of people to take on responsibilities and jobs, and the council as a whole to pass our initial ordinances. Hope you appreciated it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. This is so educational, really. And thank you, Acting City Manager Juden, for relinquishing your time to Jeff there. Okay, we have another card, Mr. Mike Estrada. Hello, Mike.
Hello, sir. This is my first ever council meeting, so I don't really know if I should ask a question or make a statement. My name is Michael Estrada. I'm a retired San Francisco firefighter. I've been here for about 7 years now. I wanted to bring to the attention, I was on Facebook and there's something trending. The Raiders are looking for a place to build a practice facility. On Facebook, there's a poll going, which area do you think the facility should be? There's Summerlin, Las Vegas, and Henderson, and North Las Vegas isn't even in the conversation. So I just wanted to ask if we could consider that, if you guys could talk about it. I don't know how you guys work, but that's all I have.
I read the same thing, and at public comments, it's more for comment versus conversation, but be more than happy if Acting City Manager Juden would like to discuss that with you after the meeting. I think that's an appropriate question. I wondered too. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention,
No
though.
problem. Thank you.
Last but definitely not least, Mr. Steve Schoaf. What are you doing with shorts on tonight?
It's still summertime.
Did you turn it off?
Sorry, everybody. My name is Steve Schoaf. I live at 5622 Midnight Breeze Street, North Las Vegas. Good evening, everyone. I just had a question. I know Ann Road has just been finished over in my area. I have the privilege of being a crossing guard at Jesse Scott Elementary School on the corner of Bruce and Ann. The names for that street have not been put up yet. I get asked every day, what street is this? Is it Bruce? Is it Ann? So I just thought I'd bring that to your attention. The streets aren't marked. I had one other thing. I should have probably spoke earlier, but that annexation of that school district property, what all is that about? I didn't really understand what was in the literature that I read. Is that now North Las Vegas property, or is that still school district property? I know at one time there was supposed to be an elementary school put on that corner.
Acting.
Yeah, that's still school district property. It's just annexed within the corporate boundaries of North Las Vegas now. It's still, I believe the CCSD still intends to put a school there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, now excuse me.
I think Jeff Alpert had a public forum comment as well.
Oh, really?
Do you
Okay.
have a card for him?
Well, I didn't see a card here. You must have just filled it out.
No,
No.
have it.
No, go right ahead.
Jeff Alpert, 3828 Fusilier Drive, North Las Vegas. First, I wanted to make a comment for Mr. Estrada. I think it was Mr. Estrada. Today's paper is very clear about the Raiders, training site. Its title is "It's Not a Big Secret, Worst Kept Secret." They picked Henderson near, not far from the M Casino, so they already got. It's going to be a done deal. So I don't even think we could fight for anything, but we should have been in the running earlier on. But that's a $100 million facility, 300 jobs involved, so Henderson is celebrating. Just wanted to mention one other thing that I was surprised that Councilman Black left out. I'm sorry he's taken off already, but in his little Ward 3, Ward 3?
Yeah, Ward 3.
Ward 3. He forgot one item that he attended that I was also there that was very interesting. The police department held its first quarterly community meeting, and it was at Alexander Library last Wednesday night, opposite the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, and it had an extremely good turnout. It filled up the whole meeting room. Councilman Churchill's wife was there. There were probably in the neighborhood of 10 police department representatives, including Gina Perez, a crime specialist, and Captain Carmody. Is he still here?
Mm-hmm.
Captain in the back. He did a great job. He carried the ball answering the community's questions. So we had at least 50, 60 people there, and many homes represented from the area, and people asked a wide variety of questions, and everybody realized the need of how important the meeting was, and that maybe you have to find a bigger meeting room to conduct these meetings, but I hope they do continue, because the residents were very appreciative. Thank you.
Thank you. So no, our police department did an excellent job with that meeting, and as well as Councilman Black, he spoke on the homeless issue. So we appreciate that. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend. Thus, I sent my better half. Acting City Manager, did you want to comment on the training center?
Yeah, sure. So I'll just comment just briefly on the concern with the practice facility for the Raiders. That was really, as the spotty knows, I was at the special session in Carson City whenever that stadium and the entire deal was proposed. In reality, in a series of exchanges during that session, it was already kind of predetermined where the practice facility was going to go. In order for the Raiders to secure the votes that were necessary in order to receive the tax incentives that they were requesting. That being said, even though these kind of determinations were made in just the normal legislative process, we worked aggressively with the Raiders organization. I myself and the mayor and Gina Gavin, we went to a couple different sites with senior management. We went to dinner with officials from the Raiders and went to a lunch with officials from the Raiders to talk to them about North Las Vegas. We even had the economic development team put together a package, which we actually had together within a few hours of the special session ending, where we could have offered our old city hall as well as some of the older jail facilities around it, which altogether I think if Bill Legier was here, he helped us put it together. It was around 19 acres. So we even offered that in some kind of a creative way to participate. We were just unable to get any kind of a deal with them. But it's not something we didn't try to do. We showed them land out on Craig Road. One of the main issues that they have, which is kind of interesting, was unknown to us at the time, is these practice facilities is where they go and they park their vehicles when they go to away games. And at that time, based on post 9/11, Homeland Security determined that these are soft targets and these are potential terrorist targets. So whenever the team parks there, they actually go in a motorcade to the airport. And they shut off all the access roads onto the interstate, and it gets the same kind of detail protection that the Secret Service would provide the presidential motorcade. So obviously, if you take North Las Vegas and you'd have to run right through town on the sites that were available, which are Craig Road or North, the kind of logistics for that, for the 10 or so games a year that are away where they'd have to do that, was a real deciding factor. They needed to be closer to an airport. So that was one of the things that really made it difficult for North Las Vegas. But it is something that we definitely worked really hard on. I think we made the decision more difficult for them post-session than what they anticipated during the session.
Thank you for that explanation. Okay, we don't have anybody else that would like to speak. I want to thank the Boy Scouts and the troop for hanging in there for the entire meeting. Apparently you were very excited that you wanted to stay for the whole meeting, and we tried to move along as fast as possible. Seeing no one up wanting to speak, we'll close the meeting.